Hello comic book fans, this is Earl Grey and this is Panellogy 39 with a short review of The Strain, Book 1. A vampire epic based on the books by Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan, adapted by David Lapham, drawn by Mike Huddleston. The cover drawings, the gorgeous cover art, is by one E.M. Gist or something, E.M. Gist, don't know. Colors by Dan Jackson, and the colors, as you see and here on the first look, have definitely this Dave Stewart vibe with them, and they're giving us the first hint, just visually, on the first glance, that this stuff is obviously Hellboy, BPRD, Baltimore related, all titles that are drawn or at least written by Mike Mignola. And the story too has some elements of a typical Mignola tale, vampires and that are rising out of East European dark places, and East European folktale that is obviously, I guess, invented by Guillermo del Toro about this Joseph Sardou guy, a friendly guy in the very beginning, but then very quickly becoming the master, a dark character of pure evil. Add the Mignola typical Nazis out of war Germany and so on, and you have typical elements of Hellboy and so on. So that Del Toro clearly benefits from his work with Mike Mignola on the Hellboy movies. And you may have seen the TV series The Strain, that's shown right now. I guess it's episode 12 as I speak, or 13. And we have the characters on the TV series clearly recognizable, like this Palmer dude, a crazy millionaire who hopes to gain immortality in helping the Master and his vampires. And that's Abraham Abraham, old guy, the vampire killer, and so on and so on. Some characters from the TV series are missing here. I don't know if they are appearing in the book, but I think so, as the most important one is maybe the Nazi Eichhorst, a slimy Nazi, really disgusting, but in this in this manner great, creepy but great. He is left out in the comic for whatever reason. Some plot lines are a bit rushed in this comic, but comics have some their own laws, and so it's maybe not a wrong decision to leave some characters out. But Eichhorst, I really miss him. The art style is not very consistent, I must say. Sometimes the art borders on cartoony manga style when the monsters are running around here. That's not so great, I think. So yeah, sometimes it looks spooky, like here, the corner. You definitely get your horror fix with this book, but it's not as good as Hellboy or BPRD. Even Baltimore is a bit more interesting in my book. Here you have these elements that are appearing and have important roles in the TV series, like this coffin that's made by the young Abraham under the Nazi occupation of Poland. This guy, he's called Zimmer in the comic, and it's not Eichhorst, but maybe the comic uses this character in some ways. I don't know. The trade I'm holding here collects the issues 1 to 11, so maybe in in issue 12 or 13 or so we see a bit more of this. Even though I must say I don't know if I really will follow the series after this book, because this book, that could be said already, has a bit of a closure. When you're ending this book, you have the feel, okay, you got the main parts of the stories and the main ideas, and there can't be so much more out there for you. I like this creepy, funny vampire guy. And this panel I found a bit amazing. Here you have the cartoony characterization of some main figures in the plot, and it's a bit lame. Yeah. But what I found great here on the windowsill, this little plastic action figure. Yeah, you know who this should be embodied. So yeah, I have some nice pages as well for you, so you can see this book isn't so bad. But if you're used to Hellboy art, this is a bit more on the trashy side, very pulpy, like the TV series, let's be honest, is real pulp, and not always good pulp. I have to confess, maybe a good filler for the break until Walking Dead starts again, to give you this horror fix, you know. So, but that's nice in a way. I like the stuff. I don't know what this says about me. Great pulpy painted covers. And last thing before I close, I don't think that it's any spoiler or so. That's the Burning Master. I think these vampire guys are too vulnerable to embody a real threat for mankind. That's one point, and the other point is this pulpy premise that it's up to a small group of 5-6 guys plus another group that of good vampires, but it's up to a relatively small group of characters to save Earth. and that's ridiculous. Monsters and vampires are running around the city. Okay, I've got that the internet was brought down and so, but you can't shut communication down to this point where nobody seems to notice vampires with this appearance without more people noticing it than these small group of heroes. The Strain, Book 1. Maybe a recommendation, maybe a warning. It's up for you to decide. Thanks for listening and watching. Goodbye.